How would you change the interview process?
Okay, so I'm passionate about this question for one.
Okay, there we go.
Main reason.
I think I know why, but yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, let's talk about that. So I'm going to give my example, and then you tell me if you thought it was what you thought it was going to be. So my example has to do with unrealistic expectations. Okay, we now have more millennials and Generation Z folks, and I don't even know what they're about, but they're a very interesting group. We now have them more in the workplace than ever before, and we will going forward. So unrealistic requirements in the sense of, a hiring manager might say, I want someone who's graduated from Harvard, who's got a 4.0 GPA with 10 plus years of experience, and I want them to be 30 years old. So that's not realistic.
And then pay them a really low salary.
Yeah. And those expectations are really, really not realistic.
Yeah.
So it gets on my nerves because a lot of the jobs out there don't really, they don't actually capture what the real requirements are in terms of experience, education, combination of both. And then the third ingredient I think that they're missing a lot of times is potential.
Yeah.
Because potential is very difficult to measure for. So things like, how do you measure hustle? How do you measure grit? How do you measure passion? These things are very difficult to assess, whereas experience and education is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. How do you measure character?
How do you measure character?
Right.
Exactly. So I would say really unrealistic requirements is a double-edged sword. It kind of hits candidates and hits employers at the same time.
Yeah, because you're burning through good candidates that would have been really great, but your standards were so high that you lost.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And those candidates can have a lot of potential. They can be very coachable, so they can come into an organization and really pick things up very, very quickly. Sometimes more than senior and seasoned employees, because they have that, they might be wired a little bit differently than people who've done things the same way for a long time.
Or I mean, even really smart people, some of them are, I don't want to say lazy, but they're less likely to pick up, do a lot of, less coachable.
Less coachable, exactly,
Right,
exactly, because the recipe for success has paid off for so long.
Exactly.
So why would I change now, and how will you need to convince me to change? Whereas someone coming in with maybe not all the right ingredients in terms of experience and education might be really, really, really interested in your organization specifically, and wanting to learn, or even in working with you specifically as the hiring manager, and wanting to be coached by you and developed by you, which is a really important skill